Hi everyone, my name is Sophia and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another first impressions review on a palette, more specifically the Morphe X Maddie Ziegler collection, the Imagination palette. So this is what the box looks like. I'll talk about it in a second, but basically I think this launched at the end of June, so it's definitely been a while since it launched. I haven't gotten around to getting it or filming it in a while, but I haven't seen that many videos on it, and I recently saw some of the Morphe videos where Maddie kind of talks about the palette and the colors and does like a look with her sister and all that stuff. So I think that it's still kind of a little bit new for Morphe. And yeah, I think this palette is absolutely stunning. I'm gonna open it up for you guys. And also on the like packaging, there's like her eyes, and it's really just a beautiful look. And also there's some illustrations that you'll probably see like over here. There's some lips, there's some like sparkle, there's a little butterfly here at the top, and those are all her illustrations, like Maddie's illustrations, which I think is really cool. I didn't really know she like drew. She can dance, she can do all that stuff. So yeah, I love how dreamy it looks, and I really love the packaging. Like, I'm just a huge fan of this palette. I feel like a lot of Morphe collabs that I've seen in the past haven't had like much going on. It's kind of like more sleek, and I love that, but this just seemed more like in, I guess, her style, and especially for the palette, it's kind of more of like a dreamy, youthful color palette. I don't know, it's really pretty. But yeah, I'm also going to be, you know, trying this on my eyes, but I do want to do a few swatches beforehand. But the eye look that I'm going to be doing is actually an eye look from the campaign videos and photos. So this one is kind of like a more simple look, but I don't know, I just kind of wanted to do it because it kind of adds some color into a neutral look, which I think is something that I really like. I'm not like a colorful girl all the time, or ever really, but I do like to play around sometimes and add some colors and stuff. So I think that this is a perfect palette for those people, and for people that just like to play around with color, because there is a fair amount of that. So you do get a mirror. Hello. You do get a mirror, and it's a pretty good size mirror too. So these are the colors in the palette. So as you can see up here, you have more of your neutral colors here in the two top rows, and then you get into like some colorful colors. Some of them are kind of brighter, some of them are kind of pastel, and then you have some darker colors and a few more neutrals. So it's definitely got some of your kind of good everyday light neutral colors, but some of them actually incorporate more of like a glittery, shimmery like aspect to it. So as you can see for here, this one's God Mom, and that one's kind of brighter and more kind of glittery, and same as To the Moon and Back up here. Both of those are also kind of more glittery. So there's a little bit of a spin on your neutrals as well, which I think is really good, because obviously I feel like a lot of us have a bunch of neutral palettes laying around if you are a fan of like, you know, eyeshadow and stuff. So it's good to have kind of a collection that curates to all types of eye looks, but also has a spin on kind of each one. So yeah, I'm gonna swatch a few here, like just kind of as a live reaction, but I'll have the clips over my face of each row. So starting with the first row, I wanna like, I don't know which one I wanna swatch. I'll swatch the last two, the shimmery To the Moon, and then the other one is called And Back. But as you can see up here, the color Butterfly Fantasy has a little butterfly in it, which I think is so cute. It's so me. If you know me, you just know. At some point I'll talk about like my obsession with butterflies and like why I'm so obsessed, because it's definitely not like the whole trend and stuff. It's kind of goes deeper. But here's To the Moon, and here's And Back. And right off the bat, these are so creamy and like buttery, and I'm honestly really impressed because I love Morphe shadows, but sometimes there have been like one or two palettes where I didn't really like the formula of them, like they weren't really soft to me. So I'm actually really impressed with these, because they're not gritty, they're very finely milled shimmers and stuff. And there's also really pretty matte like transition shades in there, which are really pretty. The next row, I'm gonna swatch God Mom and I'm gonna swatch Crushed. So God Mom is named after Sia, which I thought was really cute. Also, Angel has little sparkles in it, an illustration of sparkles, and Kenny has a little heart in it for Kenzie. So I just love the illustrations in this palette. I think they're so adorable and they just add something to the inside of the palette, which I think is really fun. So here goes God Mom. Oh my god, I accidentally touched my arm with with Crushed. So there's Crushed and there's God Mom. These are super bad swatches because I'm just live swatching. They're not like for, you know, swatch purposes, because you'll be seeing those at the top. But yeah, love those colors. The next row, I'm gonna swatch Dancing Queen because that's the color that I'm gonna be using on my eyes today. A super pretty shimmery fun like pink. Here, I'll just do it on my hand. Super pretty, like, oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pink. And then there's one called Like Butter. Honestly, I'm gonna swatch a lot of these. So off the bat, that's what it looks like on my finger. That's what it looks like on my finger, so I don't know how it's gonna look like when I swatch it. Okay, yeah, it looks a little chalky and a little weird, but I'm sure you can layer them. I know that yellow is definitely a hard color to like get a good formula. It's definitely bright. I just feel like it's gonna look definitely way better on your eyes and on your hand, like swatching it, because you can like work it in there. And then the last row, I am honestly so gravitating toward this color called Posse. It's like a shimmery dark purple, and I'm just obsessed with it. I think it's so, so pretty. I think you could create like a really beautiful, okay, wow. You could create a really beautiful like nighttime look with it, and it's just stunning. I mean, stunning. So yeah, you can probably see all the swatches and see how they performed on top. So now I'm just gonna start with my eyes and my eye look, and I'm just gonna go off of the photo. So I'll keep the photo up for now just so you guys can kind of see what I'm going for, and then I'll take it off the screen. But it's kind of like a more neutral look with the really bright Dancing Queen, I'm pretty sure it's the name, pink color in the middle. But I'm gonna use like God Mom and like some of the neutrals at the top as well. The yellow, you can definitely tell, is liner. I'm not gonna really mess my look up with the yellow dots because that's definitely liner. So I don't want to ruin the look with some eyeshadow that's not like what it is. I know it's definitely not the eyeshadow in here, just because I think that you can't really create those types of dots with eyeshadow, and it just won't work out for me like that. So we're just gonna make it work. My contact keeps moving. So I zoomed you guys in a little bit so you guys can see the look up close, but I'm gonna go in with the color Butterfly Fantasy, which is just the first kind of neutral, light, bone kind of colored base shadow. That's a lot of descriptive words, but basically just the kind of first base shadow in the palette, and it is really, really pretty. And it'll just create a good base for all of the shadows to go on top really nice and seamlessly. So I mean, it's not doing much for the eyes, but it's gonna do a lot later when you kind of get into it. I always use like a really fluffy big brush for this, just because I'm getting it all over my eye. It's not like I have to stop anywhere, so I always use a really big brush for this step. So now I'm gonna go in with the transition shade that I think I'm gonna just use M3 as my transition shade. It's this color right here, and it's kind of a good like warmer light brown color, which I think is always like a perfect shade for transitioning through colors and as a transition shade. So I always put that on the crease, and I always do that as like one of my first steps, kind of just to create like a good dimension and kind of know where I'm going to do the rest of the shadows and stuff. So that's just kind of why I always do the transition shade first. And I think that a lot of people do that, but I mean, I could be wrong. I'm definitely not a makeup artist. I just kind of have gathered what works for me, and I think that that's always what's important, is like just do what works for you. Don't always focus on doing everything perfectly, because some things just won't work with your eye shape or whatever. Next shade, now let me look at the picture because now I'm kind of lost. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go in with the shade Latte. Yeah, I'm gonna go in with the shade Latte, which is kind of the other brown shade right here. Where is it? Right here, right next to Kenny. And I'm gonna do that a little bit to kind of deepen up the crease just a little bit. And I'm gonna do it focusing on kind of the middle, because I feel like in the middle there was a good kind of color there, like a good amount of color that I think really added to the look. Now what I'm gonna do is, since this eye look definitely has kind of that shimmeriness on the lid, I'm gonna do some of Angel to begin with. That's like a shimmery, light pale pink, I guess. And it honestly looks more of like a topper. But yeah, I'm gonna just tap it on into the inner corner. And oh my god, wait, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. It's like, I don't know if you guys can tell, because I feel like on the camera it looks just simple, but it just really brightens up your eyes when you have that kind of like lighter shade in there. That was really, really beautiful, and I think that it's gonna create a really nice kind of in between when I add that really bright pink. So I'm gonna put some in my inner corner as well, just really bringing that over here. And I'm also probably going to use it on my brow bone later, because I think that that would be a good idea, since she has kind of like a brighter brow bone kind of thing going on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with God Mom, and I'm going to use God Mom all over kind of the rest of the lid, but I think I'm going to wet it. Actually, no, I'm not going to wet it. I'm going to do it now, and then later I'll wet it and like do a topper to it. But yeah, I always apply shimmers with my fingers. I always have seen it like just perform better when I apply it with my fingers. I guess it blends better and it kind of activates the shimmers in some ways. I don't really know. I just kind of have found that that works for me. Let me see. In the look, I definitely feel like there's a little bit of like M3 or something or other on the lid as well, not just like a very pale pink like I did with Angel. So I'm gonna add the tiniest bit over top, like blend it in there, of M3, which is the transition shade that we used, just to add kind of like an underneath bit of like that brown kind of tan look, and then also on the top add more God Mom, just to kind of add even more to the eyelid. And I definitely think I want to wet it and activate it even more, because although it like looks good right now, I think that it would be way brighter and like better if I did that. So all I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna use this like shader, like fluffy brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of like some Fix Plus onto my eyes with this. And then I'm gonna go in with God Mom and it a little bit wet. And it just creates the look that you want, because it just brightens it all up. And then there we go. And I'm gonna drag it onto the lower lash line in like a little bit. Now for the fun part, I'm gonna go in with Dancing Queen. But before I do that, I am gonna wet my inner corner a little bit just to make this color even brighter, because I feel like in the picture it's really bright. and we want it to be that bright. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of Dancing Queen, and then I'm gonna go in with my ring finger. I feel like I'm gonna go in with my ring finger, yeah. And I'm just gonna get a good amount of that and just slap it on into the inner corner. Oh my god. Wow. Wait, that's so pretty. Oh my god. I'm gonna just do the inner corner with my fingers, and then I'll go in with like a brush and fix up the rest. But, oh my god, wow. I mean, I definitely think that I put a little bit too much on them this side. So in the photo, there's definitely less on the bottom than there is on the top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with like a Q-tip or something. I'll be right back. I definitely think that without like mascara and stuff, this look looks a little bit weird, but I want to add a little bit to the top, kind of like lightly, nothing too crazy. Kind of blending it up and out kind of to the top, and then adding God Mom to blend it with there, and then the transition shade will go even more on top of that. All right, now I'm gonna meet kind of the other half of the lower lash line with a little bit of M3 all over again. I mean, that's the finished look for now, but I feel like with mascara and everything, it'll also elevate this look. So let me go and do that, and then I'll come back. This is the final look. I think that it turned out really, really pretty. I know it's not exactly like the photo, but honestly, the photo is a campaign photo, so I wanted to kind of put my own, you know, skills to the test and kind of try to recreate it, but also it's, you know, my own. The campaign photos for this palette and just like the videos and everything were beautiful. They were dreamy, they were fun, and I think that that's everything that this palette was. So I think that this palette definitely deserves a lot of recognition. It's so pretty and perfect, and I really liked it. I don't know if I mentioned it was $25, which is a very average price for Morphe shadows, so I don't really have much to say about the price. I think that it's a pretty good price for the quality that you get with Morphe. I always have found that Morphe shadows are, for the most part, always really great. Never had an issue with them, but this palette specifically I really enjoyed, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of use out of it, especially kind of the neutral shades just for everyday purposes. But yes, obsessed with this. 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend it. And if you guys want more, you know, reviews and stuff in the future with more Morphe stuff, let me know. Morphe 2 is coming out soon, and I definitely want to try it. And just like anything you want to see, and any review and first impression and stuff you want to see, let me know, because I will always do them and keep my honest opinions and just say everything that I feel. So yeah, that was it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I put out new videos every Wednesday, so if you're looking forward to, you know, watching a new video for me, come back next Wednesday. And I'm trying to put them at the same time, but that'll be, you know, to be determined. So yeah, next Wednesday, come back for more, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Easier said than done. That guy, nothing to live.